Hola. What are you doing?
I'm doing this. Help me out. So today we're going to talk to you about choosing materials for your tiny house, and we thought we'd class it up a little bit and have a drink at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Genuinely,
Yeah.
I feel like we needed a stiff drink when we were trying to decide the design
Yeah.
and like what kind of style it was gonna have, because we have such different ideas of what looks good.
Yeah. I'm rustic modern, so I like, the steel, heavy timber beams, like brick and, things that you would find in like a mountain cabin, but with modern sharp lines. Taylor is very
I don't even know what you would call my style.
ornamental, so you like things that are very quaint and have a lot of character. You like a lot of whites, pinks, golds, laces.
I do like brick, but I like white
brick. Right? So we've been, even in this house, we've kind of battled over design and spaces and colors and things that we like. But I think we kind of hit a groove on one style that we can kind of agree on, and that's, if I had to categorize it, it'd be like a modern farmhouse. So, to be a little bit cliche, it's a little bit Chip and Joanna kind of thing going on. So it's a lot of white woods, it's cedar, it's a mix of steel, some black elements, some gold, things like that. So it's a little bit of her, a little bit of me. So when it came to choosing materials for this tiny house, it was battle after battle. Even though we kind of had a unique vision, when it came down to like trying to figure out how to choose individual materials, it was a lot of work. And I'd like to say that I have a tip for you in like making this process easier.
We don't have a tip.
We just don't have a tip. It really comes down to how you communicate in your relationship, to try and keep these little battles over design not overflow into relationship battles, right? It's just keep them limited to the tile.
Yeah.
And, if you're gonna have a fight about tile, just have it
civil. Yeah.
Right. So, we did have fun. We kind of, we traveled around San Jose. We looked at different tile places and coming up with ideas. But a lot of this stuff you can't really see in person. So, choosing our siding. You can't really see the siding in person for the most part, especially like steel siding. So we're gonna go with a steel siding, and steel roofing. The best you can do is kind of drive around and try and hopefully find a house that has the kind of steel, the kind of roofing that you want.
And even so, like a big tool that we use. Sorry to cut you off, but like a big tool that we used in deciding kind of what we liked is we created a Pinterest board, and we both were like sharing stuff back and forth constantly. And if you look at that page, it's like very easy to tell there are two different styles happening here, like two very different looks. You're like, okay, it's not cohesive at all.
But you'll get lucky, and one person will post something to that board, and the other person's like, no, the other person, well, yeah, that did happen a couple times, but the other person's like, oh, I actually really like that.
Yeah.
So then you magically find a common ground.
Right.
But yeah, Pinterest is really good. So like, we definitely wanted white and black.
We found that out through Pinterest.
Right.
Like,
yeah, looking at kind of modern farmhouse, white walls, black frame windows, black roofs, that kind of stuff is like a really kind of cool way of mixing farmhouse with like that modern look that I like. So we did decide on doing a white steel siding. We decided on doing black frame windows that had grids in them, so that kind of was something that Taylor wanted, that grid accent.
And I I think the only tip that we can actually, because before we were saying we didn't have any tips, and now I'm thinking and I'm like, I think the only tip that we can give you is just to find common ground and make compromises. Like, you don't want to compromise the entire build. You don't want the entire thing to be one person, you know? You want it to be both of you.
Unless someone just hates design, they just want to move in and live in something, then
great.
Then awesome for the other person because they get to design the whole thing. But but for us, you know, we both have definitely, you know, and which is common in most couples, we have our own styles and things. Like, I don't want it too frilly. And I don't want, you know, flower patterns and stuff all over the place. And she doesn't want it to be made out of stainless steel and concrete.
Right.
So, so yeah, you know, we have those conversations. But anyway, getting back to like good ways to choose materials. Definitely, like, for flooring and tile, if you're going to use tile, and, you know, interior paneling, all that kind of stuff, go to design stores, go to home improvement stores, really feel the product, but also concentrate on choosing good quality product too, because, you know, that 99-cent per square foot engineered or a laminate floor might look cool, but you really have to think about, you know, what's the life of that material really going to look like, and once you put everything on top of it, how hard is it going to be to rip that floor up in 5 years and replace it? So really focus on some good materials, but enjoy the process. Go to local stores, use Pinterest, and just drive around. You know, you never know when you could just like drive around the corner and see a house that really inspires you as far as material and design aspects go.
Yeah, totally.
So do that.
Well, and another thing I feel like is know that just because you saw it on Pinterest doesn't mean that you can do it. So a lot of the things
or afford it.
Or that's what I mean.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Sorry. That's a good way to put it. So for me, like, I have found that I have extremely, extremely expensive taste, which I knew I liked pretty things, but I didn't realize how much those things actually cost. Right. So, like, if you see tile work that you really love and you go to the tile store and you realize, like,
it's $80 a square foot.
Yeah. Try to find something that has the same type of look. Like, be willing to make compromises there. Figure out what are the things that you actually want to spend your big dollars on. Like, what's super important? Is it super important for you to have a tile feature? Like, for us, like, there's a tile that I really love, and so what we ended up doing was we ended up doing a section that has that tile in it, like an inset. Yeah,
instead of doing a whole wall with that tile, we're just gonna do an accent piece with that tile.
Which is another thing that I found that I like when we were looking at things. Like, I liked that inset piece, so it's just kind of like figure out where you can make those and little adjustments.
From a practical perspective, because I'm more the practical side of everything in this relationship, but really, you know, spend your money on the stuff that is really hard to change later. So your exterior siding, your roofing, your flooring, your interior wall paneling, all that kind of stuff, because if you want to change that later, I mean, you're talking dozens or hundreds of hours of work and, you know, possibly thousands of dollars to replace that sort of thing. Whereas a light fixture, you know, you can change out a light fixture anytime you want. You can change out even cabinetry. You know, if you want to buy IKEA cabinetry, which we're going to be doing, that's perfectly fine, because, you know, you can put in some IKEA cabinets now, and then if you want to pull the cabinets out and replace them with custom cabinets later, you can definitely do that. It's not a permanent fixture. It's semi-permanent. I'd call it semi-permanent. Mm-hmm. So really, I encourage you to really focus your money on those base materials that make up the envelope of the house, because those are the things that you want to stand the test of time. So that's our, tips if you want to call them tips on choosing materials. But we thought it was like a really fun process, and we're still kind of choosing things. We're still going on Home Depot and Wayfair and Joss & Main, and I don't even know what other websites we're using to choose Anthropology to choose materials. But we enjoyed it. We hope you enjoy it. So if you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe, comment, share it with your family. I don't know. Show it to your dog.
We love comments. We love getting comments and seeing what you guys think, what you guys want to see, and we look forward to getting to know you guys.
Show it to your dog.
Show it to your dog.